I'm confident.
Oh, hello everybody. Welcome. It's another Tuesday.
Welcome
Tuesday,
back.
Tuesday. Guys, we're back. And it is the 20th. Well, it's not Tuesday anymore, technically it's Wednesday. Shut up. 19th.
I,
Whatever.
I
Shut
didn't know
up.
what said
Uh
anything.
I'm not saying you did. I was telling myself. But it we're back. So, Joel, how are you? How are you today?
Well, I'm feeling quite energized for some reason, which is ironic because it's 1:30, 1:13 in the morning. But that's all right though. I'm always up late at night doing something. But I'm
Mhm.
feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good. Good as
And
usual.
and I am doing just as well. Hyped as shit is what I am. That's what I'd like to say. Now, now, Joel, how was your day? What was going on?
Today was rather interesting. Got a phone call from a good friend of mine, and haven't talked to him in a while. And he wanted to hang out sometime this week, so I decided to make some arrangements, to go
That's good.
see him.
That's good. Uh, is that all that happened today?
For the most part, yeah. I mean,
Okay.
other than work, that was like one of the highlights.
Yeah. I had did my usual thing, but today I decided to make rice for the first time.
Is that so?
Yeah, it came out. Yeah, at first it was undercooked. Then I added more water to cook it more, and then it was overcooked. So,
Ah.
yeah. But I still ate it. I still liked it.
Are you still guys? Are you guys planning on getting a rice cooker anytime soon, though?
Yeah, tomorrow or whatever. The internet's been in and out
Ah.
today, but apparently we're getting new internet too, so that's a factor.
Hmm.
But Joel,
Yes,
how
sir.
was your week slash stories?
Um. You know what? Although not too much has happened though. Although I did go to the store, right?
Hmm.
Pick up like two, like literally like I went with my friend to pick up like two batches of cookies, and literally he was stocking up on he bought like four packages, and I was like, there is no way you're gonna eat all of that, and he was like, oh, believe me, later on I will. And this lady just walked by, and she just basically saw the amount of cookies we were just practically pulling off the shelf, and she was like, huh. He nudged him. She nudged my friend, and she was she fucking asked him, "Is your wife pregnant or something?" And my friend was like, oh, "Well, I'm not married." And then he was like, "Oh, well, someone in the family's got to be." And then she just walked away, and I just looked at my friend, and I was like,
What?
My friend was like, "Well, like, bro, did you see that?" And I was like, "Bro, I heard and saw that, of course."
Yo, I love how she was so adamant that someone had to be pregnant for you to be buying
she,
that many cookies. Like the
she
nigga
winked
did.
at my friend, and I was like, "Yo, we didn't come to stop and shop for this."
That's wild. That's wild, wild.
Mm. But what about with you?
Uh,
What's been happening?
so one thing I'll say is that it's been a pretty eventful week. Some fun stuff, some not fun stuff. But like for the first time, I saw a kid on a child leash, and that was fascinating to me.
What?
I saw like how
Yeah, yeah,
parents,
yeah. It's
yeah,
just like,
yeah. I saw it for the first time, and I was like, oh, that's interesting.
my
Uh,
goodness.
so I was like, huh, must be, I don't know. I don't know what you have to do to be put on a child leash unless the parent really just wants you to, but you must be an unruly kid in some level because that's wild to have to do that to me. But hey, maybe it's needed. Uh, I guess it's better than the alternative. Um,
Like most likely they're probably very hyperactive or something.
maybe
So they probably just need to keep them in like one place when they're
like
like out in public or something.
honestly, I just hope that doesn't get to that point. Like if I ever had a kid, because like I think my kid would just know to stay next to me. But then again, maybe it's some added security too. I won't deny.
Yeah, at the same time, I mean, depending on if your kid has a very, very hyper, then you might want to invest in those because it will help.
Maybe.
Especially my
Uh,
nephew. My
I
nephew
was
is
I
one
was
hell of a
always too
hyperactive
scared
kid.
to like. My grandma would turn a corner, and if I didn't see her, I'd be like, "Yo, where did my grandma go?" But like I was not a kid that like wandered off because I was like until I was like older and I was able to like navigate the store. But like yeah, I would always stay by my parents' side. I was like nah, I ain't,
I ain't
no
trying to do
such
that
thing.
shit.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This person gives me food. But and it's a factor that is interesting. I also one day I had a pretty good day this one day, cause like I was just working and then after work I like they had given me like some people had given me pizza and
Yeah.
some donuts and like this soda. And it was a southern soda called cherry wine. First time I ever had it, and I was
Cherry
like,
wine.
this is really good. Like it doesn't taste it tastes like it reminded me it was like a not as harsh Pepsi or Coke because it didn't burn me. Like it was an easy drink.
So it had the flavor
Yeah,
of like Coke and
yeah.
Pepsi,
It
but
was
it
like
was less
cherry.
acidic.
It was like a cherry Coke or Pepsi, but it was less acidic, and like it had like an easier time.
Mm.
It was very nice. I was like, oh man, this is a nice drink right here. Might have to get me a case, because it was interesting.
What's the
Um,
brand, by the way?
the brand? Oh well, it's called cherry wine.
Cherry wine.
Yeah, but it's like a drink, so that was cool. Then
Hmm.
I had went to Barnes and Nobles and had a great conversation with a person, and I was like, that's live, that's live. And it was really nice because at the time I was reading a lot of philosophy and I was getting very nihilistic, so it was nice to have like a different sort of like conversation. So that was good. Um, the 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 other thing is that like I've just been dodging highways because I have to walk to my job from like where I get dropped off at a little bit
Yeah.
because of how it's set up. So like I've just been dodging cars and
Left and right,
just
pretty much.
just trying to get this money, man. Some days are harder than others. Some days I'm like, man, I could really eat this gun right now. But
Yo.
it's not that crazy. It's more just like it's hard to
It's
keep at
like
the same
just kind of
levels.
just it's like kind of just tone the
Yeah,
difficulty down a little bit if you
yeah,
could. Life.
yeah, like like you could be less, like if I could just catch a break, but like at the same equivalent, I'm like, you know what, Spider-Man never catches a break, so why should I, right? Uh, so
That's deep.
so so it's one of those things. But but on the flip side, even though some things are hard, other things are better. Like it's not as bad. Like it's very balanced. I think it's to the point where it's like I don't need to do what I just said, but at the same time, it's like ah, life. But hey,
That's
video
true.
games, my guy. What have you been playing?
Well, I haven't really played as much game at all this week because I had like 2 exams to
Ah,
study for. So, I mean, the only game I think I loaded up was like uh, Battlefield 3
hmm
because it's actually been like a couple months since I've last played it. So I decided, for old time's sake, why not just hop on Battlefield 3 again and just experience that sense of nostalgia. And then afterwards, like apparently my for some reason I disconnected from the server and I thought I got banned from it apparently, but I turns out my internet actually crapped out on me. So I was like, oh well, it was a good while it lasted. I think I only played for like a good 15 minutes or so before that happened, and I just went back to studying.
huh.
So yeah, my gaming schedule hasn't been crazy at all, but I don't really have that many exams coming up so far, so I'm pretty much got everything out of the way. So I think my gaming schedule should return back to normal this week.
Yeah. I have been playing a thing called Devil May Cry 5, new in the Devil May Cry series, and every time I go back to a Devil May Cry game, I realize how edgy it is because of the fact, like, the things that they say, like,
Hmm.
cursing and being like, "Oh yeah, badass." it, it's just, it's just insane how how campy it is, and I'm just
Hmm.
like, man. But I guess that's the charm to it. Like the gameplay is fun, really fun.
Yeah.
So that's always nice. And it's hack and slash. Are you familiar with Devil May Cry?
I am.
Yeah,
I believe somebody I know, like another close friend of mine, played it before, and they were telling me about it. So I was like, huh, sounds like an interesting game.
yeah. So I've been playing that, trying to see where that's at. But another thing is that I have also been playing Tom Clancy's The Division 2, which has been an interesting experience. It's just like one, but I guess.
Mm.
But it's like it's sometimes I can have burnout with certain shooters, especially certain third person ones. So I'm just like I just don't really care too much. But I play that with a friend, so it's fine. It's a cool game.
Mm.
What else? There's other than just still playing Diablo 3 like usual, but
Yeah,
um,
I feel you on that one.
but the thing is that I've been trying to get back into Kingdom Hearts 3, but stuff's been busy. Been focusing, trying to make sure everything's okay. Um, One
That's
thing
good
I
though.
am blessed about though is that my finances are stable, so it's like that's good. But yeah, I've been doing a lot of soul searching. It's
I
mostly
see.
what it's been about.
Aren't we
Uh,
all though?
aren't we all? And that's just a factor, just maturing and shit, and going through the motions of that, new phases and all that. But so like, yeah, anything you wanna say?
um, other than just pretty much my week of exams and pretty much that whole thing with my friend and all, I do want to get into that show you showed me
Ah,
today.
oh
That
yeah,
was quite of an
okay.
interesting show, and
So
honestly, now that I think about it, I might even take a look at it
so let
eventually.
me
And
so let me explain further. So we're about to get into a review, a little bit of a discussion. Remember, it's not even a review; it's just a spoiler talk. It was gonna be spoilers.
whoever this, yeah,
So,
it's just
so
start.
but
Gus.
before I go into it, just to understand, this is a show where it's multiple. So like it doesn't follow one consistent story. That one that you saw, Joel, that ends that story right there. It's over. It's over. That's
Wait, so
self-contained.
like it's
So it's
episode?
yeah. So it's an episodic, but it's like what are they called? It's like an anthology of different stories. Okay.
Ah, I
So
see.
with anthologies, it's
So it's basically like a collection
a
then.
collection of different sci-fi stories, and so it's one of those, and
So does that
each
mean like the characters aren't consistent? So like
so
basically
you
for
won't see those characters again in a different thing,
oh
but the theme of it is love, death, and robots, and you'll find those themes in all of them.
I see.
So it depends. Most of it's science fiction though, so it's one of those things, but it's a trip, bro. Some of these stories are still haunt me to this day. It's been days. And I'm like, yo, I still can't get over that one. But so Joel, so just initial thoughts. So like like take
Well,
me through your experience with watching this.
okay.
Like from start to end.
From start, I thought like okay, this might seem like a very interesting show. Although like like I was just trying to figure out what the hell it meant by uh love, death, and robots. And then we get into the episode. And I'm just like, all right. So I'm thinking either maybe like fucking. Initially, I'm thinking that maybe the whole world's coming, like being taken over by AI or something. Very far fetched idea, but I'm just thinking that, right? Like maybe like AI, like whatever gear they're in at that point, like AI has become more dominant or something.
Hmm.
So, and then we're finally introduced like to the character. What's her name? Sunny. Sunny's her name. And basically, she is pitched into a fight where she could either win millions of dollars, where though she isn't fighting for that, rather she is fighting for something else.
Yeah, she doesn't want to take a dive, as the antagonist of this story says. Take a dive and you'll get like 500,000. But apparently, so it keeps saying like they keep saying, nah, we're not with that, right? We ain't with that bitch
Yeah.
shit. That's not why we're doing this out here.
So
This is
she basically
personal.
said fuck the money, and
I'm
she
gonna
was
win out
like,
here.
this is for a personal thing. So basically, she was raped by this estate gang and practically assaulted,
Yeah,
and
and
they
carved
carved
up her
up her
face.
skin.
Hmm.
So pretty much, literally, that led her to who she is, and basically, she was filled with a lot of hate too. So basically, they finally get into this fight. It's almost like a simulation of some sort. Basically, they're controlling like two different creatures, and throughout the whole time, I'm just thinking, so maybe this is where the death aspect comes from, because you know how like she said like she's fighting for her life. So
Mhm.
I'm thinking, okay, so this is probably where the death aspect comes from. So she comes back with that W, and then I guess
But
like
what
later
did you
on,
think of the monster fight?
um, quite interesting. Honestly, like I just wanted to know, like, is it all mental though? Like you
So
can mentally control like these fucking monsters then?
yeah, yeah.
So that's
So
what it is.
from what I saw, it's like they can they mind link the beast and probably through a chip or something, and like because the other guy who was had the Turbo Raptor had you know his link with his Turbo Raptor, and so then you're able to think of what they you want them to do, and then they do it.
Ah, I see. Yeah, so afterwards, the guy confronts her, manages to confront her, and he's pissed off visibly from the fact that she went against his word. And it turns out that even after having her head stomped out, she is practically just BioWare with basically her AI coded into the spine. And so basically at the last minute she kills the guy. And that's where the episode ends. And I was just like, what is this? Like, is there a story to it? And I just didn't know like if there's gonna be a continuation after. And that wasn't until you told me that apparently like it's an anthology. It's basically just a collection of like all
Short
these different
stories,
stories. Yeah, it's like
yeah,
short stories pretty
but
much.
all science fiction that deal with love, death,
Mm,
and robots.
yeah.
So it's quite crazy because some of them are leave you just like, yo, what the hell? So it's just something I wanted to introduce you to. Thought it was really cool. There's one that just, oh my God, I'm like, I still think about it. I'm like, damn, that's wild. And like but I watched the whole thing. I watched all of them, and
There's
it's
how many episodes are there?
10 I think or 12. I'm not sure, but like they're not even that long, so that's good. And there's it's quite interesting, some of them, and but yeah, that's but yeah. So Joel, what was the overall experience for you? How did you like it? Like
Very abstract,
very
because
abstract? Yeah.
story just I don't know where the story was even trying to connect. Everything happened a little bit too fast for me, so I'll give this like an 8 out of 10 so far.
Mm,
Because it was like again gory, but there was a lot of good. There was like a good amount of action in the episode, and gore doesn't really bother me as much. Um, I give it an 8 out of 10 because of Sunny, the character in the episode, and her character, basically her drive. I was like, huh, she has a very interesting drive. She seems like a pretty good character. I'm hoping to see
yeah.
what else will happen to her in future episodes. Not until you just told me basically what the whole show was.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, okay, never mind then.
So yeah, that's the only thing. Cause some of these I'm like, dang, this could be a series, but it's like those are there's only one. So it's something else, man. It's something else. Like, but thing is, they had this thing of like her trying to find like of this whole thing of trying to figure out what's her edge. Like the antagonist guy thought that she was just some angry girl who had gotten
Yeah,
she just wanted revenge on the world, and like and then the girl that the antagonist sent to like sort of seduce her and then kill her like was like, oh, is it like hatred? You know what I'm saying? But she was like, nah, not that's not even my edge. And then we finally figure out that like the fact is that it's fear. It's the fear of losing your life and continuing to fight on like that is what gives her edge in battle, which is fascinating if I'm correct with that. But yeah.
like it was very interesting, to say the least.
Mhm.
Something new.
Would
And I
you
believe did the show come out like this year or something, or did
yeah,
it?
like a week ago. I'm pretty
Oh,
sure.
okay.
Now, question, would you continue to watch these?
I think it'll take me a little bit of time to actually get into it. You know, because with me, I kind of enjoy a little bit of consistency with
I can enjoy
storytelling.
consistency. I don't like just jumping into another thing.
So it's like, honestly, if you hadn't told me that this series was basically like just a collection of like short stories, then I would have been stumped watching the second episode, just thinking, where the hell is Sunny?
The hell is
Like, I would have been very disappointed, and then I would have been like, yo, like, are they for real? Like, are they doing me dirty with this?
just trying
But
to see what else was going on in her life.
I was
Um,
actually like, that's the thing though. When you learn like the background of a character, but then like the next episode, the creators are like, what, who, who? And then I'm just like, oh, I mean, like, you introduced her in the first episode, and she had quite of an interesting background. So I was maybe assuming that maybe, I don't know, you'd elaborate more on the second
Cause
one, and then
it could, some of these I like, if you ever do continue watching with me or something, I do want to ask you if it could have been continued, like could this be a series? You know what I'm saying?
it
Um,
could.
and yeah,
To be honest, like,
this one really could be a series. I would
if you
love
really, it's like
to
looking
see like like is there a goal here? Like, is like she trying to be the Pokemon master? Like, like it really did remind me of just like a really darker version of Pokemon.
like
Uh,
facts.
yeah, and it's like, it has that interesting factor because some of these I'm like, damn, can I, like, some of them are just one-off stories where it's like there, it's done. But like dead ass, I would love to see a continuation of this one.
That'd be nice if the me. Okay, like, okay, that would be nice if they're episodic, right? But say like there's an interesting storyline for this one episode. At least they should make like a part two to basically continue off of where it leaves off. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's just my 2 cents, though. But I mean, interesting show nonetheless. Nonetheless,
Nonetheless, nonetheless.
I forgot how to speak English.
But yeah, so did you like their English accents?
Quite posh indeed,
Quite
good sir.
posh. But so yeah, so you're saying that you would love to see this as a continued one.
Yes. Now the way they played it, it's like the episodes represent a season of the series. You know, so like how it's because it's like I see the episodes now as a condensed season
I
because
guess.
basically you have most of the storytelling in that one episode, and then the next episode is something different, like the series. I mean, most series basically continue off from the previous series, but
But the coolest thing about these is the fact that it really does spark my imagination, which is a good thing. Because this one really is like, damn, what else goes on in this world? Like, there's corrupt motherfuckers. This is a
honestly,
thing where it's like people take dives and shit.
I would just like to know how my experience would have went if I was blitzed watching the first episode.
Oh, you
That
don't
would
want
have
to
been
do
something.
that. You don't want to do that with this one. I
Are you
like
sure?
I like, okay, well, calm down
I,
first of all. Don't talk about that. Don't Let's talk. All right, we're moving on. But so, yeah, Love Death Robots. Check it out, guys. That's all I got to say. Uh,
the only my only gripe with it is that it's on Netflix.
yeah, it's on Netflix. But now we're into the main last stretch, as we usually are. My G,
Yes,
The Promised
the
Neverland.
episode I was waiting for,
The Promised
episode 10
Neverland,
of the
episode 10.
Promised Neverland.
Explain to me, Joel, how did it feel waiting for this episode to
It
watch it?
Okay, after the cliffhanger that they presented with us for episode 9, I was like, is it really done? Like, is that it? Like, there's no fucking way. But Norman actually had a plan, and he basically.
Yeah, on the
I'll let you
outset.
actually you explain that because I want to give you that chance.
So on the outset, Norman has a plan. Norman is like, I'm not done, but I'm done at the same time. Fact is that I could have never left you guys. Fact is that, but I do have a plan. Now, Joel, I was so hyped during this, I forgot the fucking plan. What was the plan for them?
It was basically, if I could remember too, by the
Ah,
way,
yes,
because
it was a way to get over the cliff.
yeah,
Uh,
basically the structure, the perimeter of the fucking plant is hexagonal, and basically their only way of escaping is through a bridge crossing through headquarters. So until they can manage to get to headquarters, they won't be able to cross that bridge.
This was a sad one, man.
It
This was
was
this was sad, sad, saddy one. Cause after this, he basically hugs them, and then it goes into this backstory of when Norman was sick as a kid, and
basically the
and like
first, like the first sign of shipping for Norman and Emma,
so
if you
so
look at it that
so
way.
mom is like, saying nobody can come in, you know what I'm saying? And almost like Emma sensed Norman's sadness and loneliness. She pops up with that hair, and
That trademark
and
hair.
and I die because Christ.
Yeah, oh my God, you were
She
a whole
doesn't
you
she
you were
doesn't
just a whole head out here.
she
Like,
doesn't she doesn't have to be that cute, first of all, and second of all, gosh darn it, come on, don't do this to me, don't do this to me. What killed me though is how Ray shows his affection because he read a book, and because he thinks books are are the greatest knowledge, he's like, this book says idiots don't die don't get sick, because he doesn't want his friend to be sick, and he's an idiot.
so pretty much, although Norman had mapped out the plan, it was still his time to go. There was no changing that.
And
So
and he accepts it. He's like, this is it. I'm leave, but but the thing is that in his death, in his last moments, he was like, I'm gonna give you all that I have, my last tactic before I go. And boy howdy, that Emma was not happy. She was not
she just
happy.
did not want it to go
She
down that way. I'm
when he
telling you.
was at that door and everybody was sad, she broke through and was like, no, my guy, I'll clip the
Literally,
goddamn thing. Like he rushed
literally,
up
like
to him
felt with, threw the crutches down. Didn't even think twice about her broken leg, and basically engulfed him
and
in a
and
hug.
and was
But it
trying
was to
to
execute the
to
plan.
execute the plan of like destroying his ear thing. And fact is that then she was like, I'll distract mom. But
But
Norman
Norman
was like, nah.
counter
He
effects
like
that.
like the way that she dropped the thing, and he was looking at it, he was like, yo, why you gotta drop these drugs like this? Don't be doing
it's,
that.
it's like fuck. Now we're definitely screwed. But
So and
basically, Norman berates Emma for basically being reckless as usual and naive for trying to even attempt something that's futile,
yeah,
at
but then then
least
he
within that
then
situation.
then he decides to describe a shonen protagonist um, as saying naive, reckless, and all that, and irresponsible and immature, but honest. And
Shonen protagonists in
and
a nutshell.
and so and the fact that she never gives up and stuff. And then mom, after she goes and kneels down by Emma, she's like, "Yo, do that again, do something like that
And I will
again, and
kill
I'll
you.
kill you." And I go insane because I'm like, "Yo, why the fuck? What?
Threatening a fucking child out here. Like,
Yeah, just
God,
threatening a child out here." And fact is that, but that past scene was just too goddamn cute, my guy. Especially when she, like, oh goodness, oh my god.
it was pure.
But thing is that then the depression hits. Everybody's depressed.
They've given
Emma,
up.
Emma's out here on a fucking tree thinking about life, looking like she's about to go Super Saiyan. Ray's becoming an alcoholic because he knows he's next and shit. Like, and it goes like this on, and some of the kids are like, "Oh no, Emma and Ray are so sad," and like Don and Gilda are like, "Oh gosh, like, oh please," uh, and they don't know what to do. And Ray basically says to Don, Emma, and Gilda, "I've given up. It's over for me.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry out here."
Like,
And
I'm
and
sorry I had
Emma
to give up on you
Emma just
guys.
turns around and just walks away because she's like, ah,
Is it real? It's like
and
he's given up. There's no
and
use.
and then we finally have the scene where
Where Silver walks in the room and he walks up to Emma and he goes, "It's no
damn, Joel, good job. Good job, Joel. You're on your toes. Yeah, so mom walks in the room to Emma and is like, "Emma, just give up. That's what it is. The only way to, not go through the suffering and of despair is to just give up," which is a lie, by the way. Uh, and she's trying to just tell her, like, but hey, if you give up, I'll recommend you for mom. You can become a mom or a sister or have a kid. You can survive because you're qualified for it. You're qualified for it.
I'll rec- she even said she'll recommend her too.
That's what I'm saying. And Emma is like about to get angry, but then she says something. It's like,
She
hey, listen.
basically reads her mind, saying, "Why would I become such a thing?"
And it's like sometimes you just gotta do a thing. And then she gets up and walks away, and she has a sad look on her face, mom, and she just goes down. Then it's just sadness, sadness, sadness. But then we got the crux of the episode. So before I go into that, we have where Norman actually goes to the place, and she tells him to, hey, you can wait in here for, I guess, the people to get there so he can be murked. But the way they do it, they don't show
Yo,
him dying, so you know what that means. If somebody ain't being seen dead, that means he
that
ain't
means
dead. He might not be dead. So there's two avenues: either he was dead, or like they put him into another program or something, or maybe he's still alive, but we don't know.
I'm going for your
Uh,
ladder that he did get put into another program because I refuse to believe he's dead. He's
uh,
That's too quick.
and
I'm gonna be pissed off if they keep showing him in the opening. Like, what the fuck are they doing, showing like all the dead characters in the opening? Then
yeah, you were pissed when they showed Sister Crow, and you were like,
I'm like,
change the opening.
it's change the opening. I don't care. You fire somebody, you gotta change the fucking lock of the building. That's how it works.
Yo. And so it's a factor that, then we have the calendar scene where they keep ticking off days to Ray's birthday.
Last day
And
in the orphanage.
the day right before Ray's birthday, when he was about to leave, Emma and Ray go to each other and it's like, "Hey, it's about to be that time, my guy." And Ray's like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, I'm about to die." Before this, we saw Ray just being like, "I'm like facing his death." Now I'm not sure if Ray is about to, like do something else. We don't know yet. But
Only time will tell.
but Ray looks at Emma and says, "You haven't given up, have you?" And then Emma gets
That
this
last,
look on her fucking face. Like it was almost a mom type look, like,
it
yeah.
was
Like, yeah, nigga, I got plans too. I'm
like it was
plotting
very
too. You think
sinister.
I'm
It was a
giving up?
very eerie and sinister
You think I'm giving
too.
up? Nah! Nah!
And it was at that moment Justice got his entire body back.
Yeah, I broke through the door of truth. And cause like it was wild, wild. It was
It
wild.
was like we were left to believe that basically there was no hope and that they were really going to die at the orphanage, but it turns out even Ray and Emma haven't given up at all, and we're also left with the clue that maybe Norman is alive. So that leaves me with to believe what will happen in episode 11. Now, Justice, what are your hot takes? Actually, I want to know.
Well, it's not the hot takes. It's for the immediate next
Or I mean,
episode.
yeah, for the
But
predictions for the next
but
episode. I mean,
the next, like, we're gonna get in those hot takes though, because it might have changed. Who knows? But the immediate next episode, bro, I'm thinking to myself, we're always gonna hear a plan. That's for sure. Well,
because it's like
do I think that Ray's gonna die next episode? If they want me to burn down their offices, but that's a possibility. They need to call their insurance guy because justice is coming. Um,
yo,
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 I
after
can't.
Samurai's coming and he's chopping off the heck of
Um,
everyone.
it
Like
like they made these characters so likable with so much character in them that I'm just like, dang.
that they're just gonna do us dirty like that.
Like with the past scene, they had the cups so they could talk to each other. Heartwarming out here. Heartwarming.
Indeed, quite heartwarming.
And it's a factor that I feel like next episode, in some way, like they're gonna make this plan. They're gonna do something, and maybe the pen that Sister Crone left in the drawer is gonna play some part. You know,
That is true.
I don't know. So like that's all I can assume. I feel like that's gonna come back in the next episode or at some point. That's less of a hot take, but more than the next episode. That's more like a warm take.
A warm
but
take.
but
Now I myself don't
yours,
really have as much of a prediction. This is more of a hot take.
hot takes, okay?
Because to be honest, it's too quick for me to really jump to a prediction. But I will give you my hot take. What if Mother Isabella
Hmm.
What if Norman was actually moved to another planet? But not even. What if they just kept him? Because say, what if the demons are trying to experiment on him? So basically, they don't have to kill him just yet, which gives Emma and Ray enough time
Like,
to execute some kind of plan
whoa,
that'll
this is a
try.
hot take, but this is interesting. Are you saying that Norman has such a high level IQ mind that they want to experiment on
Like
him?
it, yeah, because they probably because at this point you got to
Like,
think
like he broke through the scores of the test?
like yeah, like also and like because Mother Isabella already suspects that Norman is definitely one of the most high intelligent one next to Ray. So it may be that even if Ray got shipped off, he would probably end up in the same position as Norman. They would keep them for some kind of experiment, you know?
Hmm,
So that would
interesting.
leave Emma with enough responsibility and maybe more than enough time to focus on what she has to do, or not even maybe have Don. This might even leave Don and Gilda too. This they might even start playing a bigger role here too. Maybe then
Well,
like
they're gonna have to because,
they have no choice.
oh my goodness.
It's like, hey, I mean, like the two smartest guys are about to be killed or on. You guys need to fill in that role. Maybe Emma will look to them to basically fill in for Ray and Norman. And basically, then they will try to execute a plan. Now, my boy Thomas, though, my boy Thomas is starting to suspect something that's going on. Like he could already see like that Emma is visibly like shaken and upset, and like literally, he probably who knows
Your
he
biggest
might
hot
have
take.
I'm just saying, maybe out of all this, maybe Thomas is key. Maybe he'll try to help out.
Thomas is
Maybe
key.
he'll fill in the fourth role, and who knows? Maybe like the other children, maybe one of Thomas's close friends in the orphanage will fill in the fifth role, and then you'll get like the 5 point star right there. You'll never know. You'll never know. It's starting to seem that way though. But yeah, that's pretty much my hot take for the show. You know, quite interesting indeed. But that was my thought process because it seems like more likely that Norman they can't just kill off Norman that easily, you know?
Yeah. Uh, thing is that what I'm thinking here is the fact that like it 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 you know. So it's one of those things. But the biggest thing now is that now, remember my hot take of the fact that Norman will have to choose
Yeah.
between like only taking the three or not. Well, fuck me, right? He doesn't have to choose shit now because he might be dead. So, you
If
know,
he's dead, then my hot take is shot. Then
yeah. So like, if so, the big thing is that now I'm thinking, but if that's true that they're experimenting on it, can you imagine he comes back like a half demon? That'd be sad as shit, man.
like FM Full Metal Alchemist already did that when they fucking turned Nina into a damn Chimera. They can't do that again. Fucking why?
But who knows? Fact is that it like I'm the most interested on what he like what they're going if they're going to end this series in what way. If it's popular enough, then it might go on for a long time. But what will they do long term after this? What will they do when they finally do escape? Like how will that play out? Will he continue it outside when they're trying to when it's the revolution arc? when
The
when they're
revolution.
trying to take down
At that
the
point, they have
demons,
mechs and guns.
the underground railroad, the underground railroad of the Promised Neverland. They have
Yo,
mechs and shit. They're just taking down the demons. Ray,
just fucking air.
Ray's
The
20 years old, got some beard, looking fucking disheveled and shit.
with fucking machine guns with fucking ammo belts
Ah,
strapped to them.
Thomas is a
Like what
ninja, just taking demons out. Just
the Mother Isabella's dead. Grandmother finally executes her final plan to try and have them all exterminated. Who knows? Who knows?
who knows? And who knows? Who's at the top of this world? Is there like a demon president? Like I just want to these
Well, it seems like
answers figured
grandmother
out.
seems like she's
Well,
on top of
she's
the world.
well, grandmother seems like she's just the head of that plantation. Well,
But you'll never know.
hold on
What if
here.
she's a
She might be the head of all the plantations now I think about it
yeah? That's what
because
I'm thinking.
I don't know whether she's like cuz it might just be manager thing of being like the other plants are
She's
doing
like
so well so
she's
we
like a
have to do
C.
well. But
I
I'm not
see her
sure
as
if
like a
she's like
CEO. You know.
she like of me. I'm just trying to figure out if she's of like the CEO of the all the plants or just that one because it seemed like she was the mother when Isabella was young.
So maybe she was promoted to grandmother then.
Which,
Is what I'm thinking.
I'm just like, what is that
Like,
role?
what is it? What is even this? What what even is this?
And what's odd is that even though the demons are in control, what if we're all just being sexist? What if we're just really all being sexist? But here's the thing. No, no, we can't be because Sister Isabella was answering to the demon
You're right.
at the time. So we don't really know. So yeah, and there's a society. So there is a society. I'm sorry. I'm being an idiot. But cuz we saw like the round table of demons, remember?
Yeah, yeah, I remember
So
that.
it's just like, man, oh my goodness, just yo.
Like, oh man, oh man, oh man.
Norman comes back as a hero. He has a full white beard. he, he uses his techno magic just
I would be dead if he kicked the door down and he's like, I'm.
uh, just starts taking niggas out. Just oh my goodness.
It's like, what is it? What
Because
even
here's the
is
thing,
this?
they can't have. Because here's the thing, here's the issue. Because I'm pretty sure they've coddled humanity to such a point. Because here's the thing, and I'm not even trying to be sexist right now. Because even an adult woman would be dangerous, but you know that they don't say they could unless they might experiment on human men, but they would never let a human male grow to full body because that's a warrior at that point. If like they're like if you got a person that is fully grown, that's like fully like developed, they're gonna fuck a lot of people up. And I'm not sure how strong those demons are.
No doubt
But
about it.
like that's all I'm trying to say. Like
We
they
only
like
see what they're capable of. And again, who knows? Because you gotta think too, they're just children.
like
We
what
don't
can a
know.
trained human, what can a trained like a Navy SEAL do to a demon in this world? That's what I'm trying to figure out here, you know?
Well, at the same time, we don't know how easy it is to kill these demons either. For all we
Exactly.
know, they're
And
probably
like
fucking vulnerable.
how long have they been in control? You know what I'm saying? How long how long how art thou? Because I think they said because it must have been at least after the 2000s, like the millennium, because like they've had history before that. You know what I'm
That would have
saying?
been that would have been funny if after Mother Isabella looked over the wall and then she sees grandmother just extending her hand to come back. She jumps down and she's like, "There's a cliff behind this wall. What is this establishment? I'd like to speak with your manager." But like, yeah.
Um,
So I'm just saying this is just fucking crazy. Like this episode ended quite nice, though I'm still curious to know what will happen in episode 11. But I'm serious. Like it did. This episode didn't piss me off like episode 9's ending did, because that was like, yo, doing us dirty since day one.
I
It's
mean,
episode one.
there was a lot of closure this one.
Yeah, there was more closure with
It
this one.
wasn't like closure as in like oh everything's solved, but it was much more closure in like we know that Emma's
We're we're
not broken.
reassured.
We're
We are
reassured that
reassured
hey,
that there is a
Emma is
solution.
not broken. She is still going to fight for like for her family, and it's just like yo, like it would be insane if they have like a plan of the backup plan, like they've just been acting like they've been. Oh my god, hot take. What if they've
Hot
just been
take.
acting like they've lost? Like like Norman, Emma, and Ray still have a plan, but they have a plan that they didn't show the audience. But it's like who knows?
That is interesting.
Like
I was thinking something
like
similar to that
like
too.
if they have a plan outside of it, and it's like yo, we've been we've been Sherlocking this from the beginning. Like you thought you had us, like we had already predicted you were gonna break my leg, my girl.
Like, bitch, you stupid. We still got a plan, bro. Chess moves. Look at that. So
But like
maybe they might be one
so
step ahead of Mother
that's what
Isabella,
I'm trying to say. They might still be one step ahead, and
and that's
that's
all it leads down to.
and like I'm just like this man. If there's anything that we can gain and garner from this, it's the pure and simple fact that my goodness, somebody, please take Thomas to a doctor to fix that cleft lip.
Yo, don't be talking like that
I'm
about my
sorry.
boy.
I'm sorry. That was a cruel joke. That was
At least
bad.
take him to the doctor so that way they can give him that steroid shot to fuck Mother Isabella up long enough for
Um,
them to take over the mansion. I'm thinking too far fetched now.
Now that would be crazy if they had gotten all the kids to just kill the mom, and then they just home aloning demons.
You know what would be fucking insane?
What?
Imagine they kill Mother Isabella, right? But then
Mm.
they're like, "Oh man, we just forgot. The demons are gonna suspect something if the shipping hasn't if there's no shipping going on." So they're like, "Okay, raise your hand. Like, let's play a game of tag. Whoever is the loser is getting shipped." Oh my god, that would be terrible. Actually, very terrible. But besides that, though, yeah, Justice.
Yeah.
Episode 11 is gonna be
What I
fucking crazy.
realize is that they have them at tweens because I just realized that they couldn't keep them any longer than that. You know?
Yeah.
Because if they were teenagers, bro, that would change the game. Because teenagers are different. Like, because that's when boys start getting, more
That's
athletic.
when they start developing their
So do
mindset
girls.
too.
They start developing mindsets like, oh, fuck this place. Like they can't have them. Like even a stupid kid is gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna be rebellious and try to look over this wall. Smarter kids, sure, but even like the most dumb kid is gonna be like, oh, I don't want to be here right now, so I'm gonna see what's out there. I want to see what's out in the world. You know what I'm saying?
Uh, maybe Mother Isabella. You gotta think though, right? If Mother Isabella wanted her operations to go just as smooth, why didn't she just eventually just ship Ray, Norman, Emma, even Don and Gilda out when they were still young? You know?
Well, again, because the tests. Remember,
You maybe
like,
think that maybe those tests are to test them to see if they're smart enough to know what's going on. Maybe.
well, here's the thing, bro. They don't really give a fuck if they know or not, because they're gonna get theirs whether or not. Because to them, the demons and the mothers, there's no hope. So
I
it's
guess
like
the,
you're
I
done.
guess the more rebellious, the more delicious they are. Then.
No, Joel. The smarter they are, the tastier the brain, Joel. They've explained this.
Well, if they won't get it, they won't get satisfaction out of eating me then.
Damn.
But no, I'm
Uh,
fucking around.
but yeah, bro. So
Episode 11. Can't
episode
wait to
11.
see. We can't wait for it to come out on Thursday. But goddamn, do I have to wait another week because RDT reasons? Fuck. Although that would be crazy. Imagine if I just watched it without you. I know how
And then
pissed
you're
you'd
off
be.
the show.
But then who would fill in for
No one. It'd just be me talking to myself. Hello, guys. Welcome to RDT.
me?
Justice man.
I got my Justice over here. Justice, introduce yourself. Yo.
Yo, yo, Justice. I get another clip of me responding to myself.
And just have like full blown arguments with yourself too.
Yeah.
Like my goodness. My goodness. But that pretty much wraps it up for this episode, Justice.
It sure does. Well,
I'm just saying, guys, if you haven't, check out Love, Death, and Robots. Quite interesting. I will check it out if I ever make a Netflix account of my own.
okay. You guys have a good one.